sweet, merciful Minerva. Did he say mutation? He did. Last week's Miss Marvel was at best meh. This week was so good. They had to fight damage control, and they decided to fight them at the school. The whole kid cast, really. All of them, they all got together and they had to fight damage control, and they did the school like it was in, one of the Home Alone movies, which was kind of cool. They Home Alone that joint, and they had bombs set up and music set up and the disco balls and everything, little baseballs getting shot through the school. It was really good. It was really good. I just want to talk about that one part. It was one scene, it was real quick, and Bruno, who's like a scientist already, I think he went to Caltech. I think it was Caltech that he got sent to, or they said they selected him to go to school there. But so he's a smart guy, or maybe it was MIT. I don't know. It's one of those places. And either way, he's a smart dude. And for some reason, he decided to test Miss Marvel's blood again, and the sample that he ran, he said something was off, and they thought she was like a djinn. He said there's a little bit of that in there, but also something else, some sort of pause, ... mutation. And I was like, what? Okay, we've sort of had mutants already in the MCU, the movie MCU. We had Scarlet Witch and her brother. They're saying that the Mind Stone, or one of those stones, I think it was the Mind Stone, created them. But did they? Because they called them wonders. And I was thinking that's their way of saying, mutants. They mutated these people. Then later, we had Ursa Major, and he was in jail with Red Guardian and arm wrestling. And he's like, oh, the big bear. He's a mutant, and his name is Ursa Major. And actually, those two were on the team together, the Soviet super soldiers. And he was in the movie. He didn't use his power. His power is to become a gigantic, talking, superpowered grizzly bear. He didn't do that, but it was the guy, and they called him the big bear. Oh, the big bear. And I was like, wow, they're really leaning into that. Then they announced that there's going to be X-Men 97. It's going to be a part of the MCU. So, actually, I guess it's going to be on Disney Plus. That'll be kind of cool. So they actually are bringing mutants in the Mutants, X-Men. And then they actually pulled Charles Xavier from an alternate Earth to, Multiverse of Madness. He was in Doctor Strange Part 2. So if Xavier is there, then of course there's probably other mutants too on that planet. So there's probably going to be mutants that come over in the incursion. And then they said here, he's like, there's something strange about your blood, some type of mutation. And when he said it, in the background, you heard, it was the X-Men music. So they're letting you know, he doesn't just mean something weird's happening with your body. He means mutant. Because, in the background, it's like, which was crazy cool. I had to play it twice because I was like, did I just hear what I think I heard? And yeah, I heard it. I don't know, they could have had the entire episode about somebody gluing the pills back onto bananas. And at the end, with that one part, I would have been like, oh, it was so worth it. It was so worth it to watch that for. all of that time with that dude with the bananas, and now they got this. Oh, that was good. Then it gets even better because, spoiler, in case you don't know, this is spoilers. I should have put it earlier. You should have seen it. Spoilers. But then I was wondering if that band that she was wearing, that they said there should be 2 of them. If you're talking 2 wristbands in the Marvel Universe, you're either talking about the Negabands or you're talking about the Quantum Bands. In one, you'd think Captain Marvel with the Negabands, and another you would think Quasar with Quantum Bands. The Negabands are Kree, ancient Kree weapons. They go on your wrist, and they allowed Captain Marvel to fire energy blasts and do some other stuff. But the major thing was when he banged them together, bing, he could trade places with another dude that was also wearing the Negabands, kind of sort of wearing them. A guy named Rick Jones, and he went to the Negaverse. So now she's looking at the band. I can't remember if she tapped it or not, but she's like looking at it, and something happens, and she gets up, and she's like, oh, and she gets popped out of the room, falls through a door, and instead of her coming back through the door, you hear some rustling. It's, by God, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. They traded places. It's the Negabands. They traded places. And I said before that I thought it was the Negabands and the way they traded places. And when she originally got them, immediately she kind of fell backwards into another zone, I guess the Nor, and then she came back. So I was like, these bands are powerful and they're transporting her to other places. Another thing I noticed when previously I said that these bands were acting like a Green Lantern ring. Her sister-in-law says to her, I've always wondered, those bands, is the power infinite or do you have to recharge them? And I was like, she's talking about a Green Lantern a Green Lantern power battery. And I was like, that's pretty blatant that they're talking about that. It was kind of cool. But I enjoyed this episode basically for those parts. One, how they went ahead and Home Alone the school. 2, there's a couple good fights in there, but there's 2, the sister-in-law making a Green Lantern comment. 3, these are the Negabands, man. And Carol Danvers showed up. I said she had to show up. You know, because Miss Marvel's going to be in her movie. They gotta cross paths, and they did. Not really, but kinda. Carol is in her room, so I'm assuming the movie is going to show her in the room. So the rest of the cast must be in the movie at least a little bit. And the last thing was Mutation. I can't explain how happy I am for that. It's like the entire MCU was a really good birthday party. But as soon as he said Mutation, that's when somebody brought out the cake. I had fun with my friends. We're all dancing to the latest music and having a good time. And oh, there's little Joey. I haven't seen him in a long time. You know, oh, is that a pinata? We're having a great time. The MCU was a great time. But as soon as they said mutant, that was cake. Somebody brought out the cake. And it's my birthday, so I get the first piece. Oh, this is cool. This is going to be so cool. Because I'm wondering how they're going to do all of this stuff. With the ending of Thor and the introduction of a particular character, a couple of characters, and well, actually a few characters, really, if you think about it. But the ending of Thor and a new series of characters being introduced, and then the ending of Miss Marvel and a whole world of characters being introduced. Sabretooth, Wolverine, Cyclops, Darwin. I would really like to see them do Darwin justice, because when he was in the other movie, they did not do him justice. Darwin has the power, the mutant ability to adapt to anything. Even if he can't adapt to survive whatever's happening, he would adapt the ability to teleport away. And his body would survive. His body would keep him alive. Death tried to kill him, and he adapted to death and became a god of death. The dude's body adapts to anything. There's just no beating that dude. And in the movie, they put an explosive in his mouth and he died. I was like, that's not right. That's like Wolverine bleeding to death. That's not right. But mutants are coming. I'm pretty happy about that, man. So I didn't like a few of the episodes, but I really dug the implications of this last episode. So I would give Captain Miss Marvel this episode in the entire series 8 bags of popcorn. Would have definitely been a strong 6, maybe even a 7. But with what just happened, that's 8, man. That's 8. That's gotta be an 8. But that's what I think. More importantly, what do you think? Now that you had a chance to look at the video, let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn passport. Get your